Good morning and welcome to ABC in the morning with me, ABENA MANTE, live on ABC News GH. Today is Friday, beautiful day, beautiful morning, the beginning of the weekend. And when it's Friday, we're excited, we are happy because it's time to go home, relax, spend some good time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and reminisce how the week has been and plan for another fruitful week. I hope your week has been good so far. I hope the things that you put in place have worked out for you. And if the things you were expecting have not all materialized, don't give up hope yet, okay? Every day is a new day to work hard at our dreams and achieve them. And so again, I am still rooting for you and wishing you the best. Today is the 21st day of November 2025. The 21st of November 2025. That leaves us 9 days, and then November will come to a close. 2025 November will come to a close. And so continue working hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, work so hard and achieve your dreams. Don't give up. Don't give up at all. Don't throw in the towel now and say that we have only about a month and 2025 will be over. And so let me give up on 2025 and wait for what 2026 brings. Continue to work hard. Don't give up at all. When you are tired, relax, rest, take a deep breath, and then rise up and work hard towards your goal again. You will be able to achieve them. Thank you so much for joining us here on ABC in the morning. Today we'll bring you so many conversations. We'll bring you ABC Speaks, where we'll give our take on one of the topics around a very important issue. And so we'll bring you ABC Speaks. Additionally, we'll bring you a front story. There's conversation about government takeover of Springfields. ASEP has spoken against it. We'll bring you some conversations on that. What is Springfield? Why does government want to take over? Why is ASEP against it? By the time we are done with the show today, we'll have understood what is happening. Yesterday, Parliament was quite interesting. Dominic Nitiwo, former defense minister, spoke. This was during the 2026 budget debate. He said he is all for the retooling of the Ghana Armed Forces, and he would be the last person to stand against retooling the Ghana Armed Forces. But this current government needs to explain to Ghanaians why in previous years, when the erstwhile government has come to Parliament to talk about retooling the Ghana Armed Forces, to talk about the need for a new presidential jet, this government was constantly against it, only to come into power, and 11 months on are now calling for a retooling to the point of even budgeting for it in the 2026 budget. And so Dominic Nitiwo says that current government must explain to Ghanaians and additionally apologize to Ghanaians why they were against this same matter that they have brought now to Parliament. So we'll have conversations on that and many more. We will bring you the latest in the world of sports, find out what is happening. And if you pass along the 37 Elwak Road, you will see that there are some potential recruits there, undergoing recruitment exercise. And it looks very orderly, very, very nice. Recruitment has resumed there at Elwak, where there are 2 centers, and there's also one at the Nicholson Stadium inside Bema Camp. Everything just looks very orderly, and many Ghanaians say they did have to take 6 lives lost for order to be restored. But we are looking forward to seeing that this continues. Orderliness like this continues, where we better appreciate how the recruitment process is done in a very humane way. Because last week's incident was really, really an eyesore that no Ghanaian wants to ever see again. No Ghanaian wants to ever see again. And so the Ghana Armed Forces has begun recruitment at Elwak and other places. Also, we understand that some forest reserves, about 5 forest reserves, have been taken over. Quite worrying, because reports from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources tells us that through the various interventions by the ministry and allied bodies that have been helping, our forest reserves have been claimed. But this report from the Ghana Institute of Foresters says that 5 of our forest reserves have been taken over by illegal miners. I don't know about you. Since we talk about illegal mining, yesterday, did you come across any video on social media that looked like there was an artist performing, only for you to zoom in and you realized it was galamsey or illegal mining happening? All of these conversations, we'll try and have them within our conversations today on ABC in the morning. And we'll open the phone line, so I would love to hear from you on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. You call us and share your thoughts with us on all of the conversations we will be having here on ABC in the morning. Additionally, when you call us, you can tell us the thing that is missing in your area, in your municipality, in your constituency, that you would want the duty bearers to pay attention to and solve for you. That is why we have Community Watch here on ABC in the morning. You can share with us what is happening, and rest assured, you will see us in your community, where we will report on the matter and bring it to the attention of duty bearers. Again, thank you so much for joining me today on ABC in the morning. I'll take a quick break. When I return, we'll begin with the front story. Stay with us. You're welcome back. This is still ABC in the morning. On our front story this morning, we're looking at Springfield. Government wants to acquire Springfield, but ASEP is warning against it. Why is ASEP warning against it? Before we even look at why ASEP is warning against it, government released a statement. I read the statement. Let us all be abreast with what government seeks to do in this commercial acquisition, and then we would also appreciate what ASEP is talking about. And this is a statement released by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. It's dated November 19, 2025. Springfield Exploration and Production Limited, Government Intervention Update. The Government of Ghana, through the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, and its upstream subsidiary, GNPC Explore Co., is currently engaged in constructive discussions with Springfield Exploration and Production Limited (SEP) on a potential state-led takeover of SEP's interest in the West Cape 3 Points Block 2. This initiative forms part of government's broader strategy to safeguard national petroleum assets, optimize upstream output, and ensure that valuable resources do not remain stranded due to prolonged commercial or operational bottlenecks. Engagement of independent technical and transactional advisors to ensure a rigorous, transparent, and professionally grounded process. The Petroleum Commission and GNPC are jointly procuring the services of a reputable technical consultant and an independent transactional advisor. Their mandate will cover comprehensive technical assessment of the West Cape 3.2 block, full cost audit and verification of past expenditures, financial due diligence on the assets, and independent valuation to determine the fair and equitable value of SEP's interest. This approach ensures that all decisions are evidence-based, commercially prudent, and in the interest of the Republic of Ghana. Government says that they state the rationale for this intervention, and here's what they say. With Ghana's national crude oil production declining over recent years, coupled with uncertainties within the global energy transition, government considers it urgent to advance the development of the West Cape 3.2 resource base. A timely intervention is essential to prevent further delays to field development, unlock the block's long-term economic value, sustain upstream activity and associated national revenues, and enhance Ghana's overall energy security. This is what government is saying. This is the rationale for government takeover of Springfields. This is the rationale for government takeover of Springfields. But the executive director for ASAP has been speaking. He is Ben Boachi, and he's insisting that this transaction lacks commercial justification. And his argument is that the West Cape 3 Points Block 2 assets already belongs to the state and should be reclaimed and not purchased. So he says that instead of government wanting to purchase it, just reclaim it because it already belongs to government. We would want to understand why government wants to purchase something which already belongs to something that already belongs to them. Richmond Roxon Esquire is the spokesperson and head of communications at the Ministry for Energy and Green Transition. Good morning, Richmond. Thank you for your time, sir. Hello, Richmond.
Hi.
Good morning and thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Richmond, does government indeed own the West Cape 3 Points Block 2?
When you say government owns it, in 2015 there was a petroleum agreement between the government of Ghana, GNPC, SBLOCO, and then Springfield. And as we speak now, Springfield has about 84% interest. GNPC had some interest, and then SBLOCO as well. And so that's Block 2 has to be explored and developed. And over the years, the partners have been doing that.
Okay. Hello, Richmond.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. But ASAP says that they do not agree with government commercially acquiring the Springfield or the West Cape 3 Points, beg your pardon, Block 2 from Springfield, whereas government could just reclaim it. And so this is their argument regarding the statement that you released.
At this point in time, that will be early to tell. What the government has done is that it's initiated a formal process, and then which involves Petroleum Commission, which is the regulator, and then GNPC, which is a partner. What government intends to do is to bring on board a technical consultant and then an independent consultant with knowledge in the field. They will look at the entire block, to do the entire assessment, And at the end of the day, its report will guide government and the parties on the way forward. And so if there are claims that at this point government wants to commercially acquire it, it's early to say that. What the report will put, what the report of the consultant is what will guide government on the way forward. And so I will plead with all parties to exercise patience, let the process continue.
Okay.
Let's get the advisor, let's get the consultant. The process will be as transparent as it will be. And once it's transparent, everybody sees how government is going about it. Input from civil society, academia will be welcomed.
Okay.
And then we can take it from there. But at this point in time, it's a multitude of suspicions when the process has not even commenced. So I will ask that we exercise patience. We all follow the process keenly. At the end of the day, we'll see the report and we'll all be advised on the way forward.
All right. But Richmond, ASAP says that there was a contractual agreement between government and Springfield way back. And per this agreement, Springfield is supposed to uphold its end of the bargain or the agreement. When or if Springfield is unable to uphold its end, government can acquire it back without necessarily buying the West Cape 3 Point Block 2. And so
I don't want to go into the technical details. I don't know whether so far ASAP has provided any basis for that statement. If they've provided the basis for the statement, be rest assured that government will engage them, will look at their claims, and then engage all parties involved. But at this point, this is the roadmap the government has given. If anybody else has any contrary opinion, and then it's backed by data and evidence, why not? The government will look at it. I must state categorically, the government has no personal interest in this matter. When I say personal, the government is not in to bail out anybody as is being claimed. It is just a formal process, and the goal is to ensure that the government takes steps to address the decline in oil reserves. From 2019 to date, we've moved from 71 million barrels a day to about 38 million, and that's a subject matter of concern. And so every action the government is taking is to ensure that we go back to our glory days where we were exploring, we were producing a lot of oil. And so every action, that is the goal. If anybody has any contrary opinion, government is ready and willing to engage to ensure that that matter is resolved amicably.
All right, but for the concerns ASAP raises, isn't it worth looking at, especially as it raises concerns about government not spending too much money on non-performing oil blocks? And so this is a matter that maybe, even though you say that it is in the very budding stages of looking into, it is a matter that you would want to pay some more attention to.
I just mentioned that the government is willing and ready to engage. Personally, I have spoken to ASAP. I know my minister has also engaged ASAP on the subject, and that's why I said that any concern that any individual or any institution or civil society has, government will definitely not rubbish it. Government is willing to engage to ensure that there's an amicable resolution for us to make progress. The most important thing is that we have to go back to our glory days, and all steps will be taken to ensure that that is done.
On this government, from your end as a ministry, is government aware of this portion of this contractual agreement that talks about between GMPC and Springfield, that also talks about how government can go in if Springfield does not uphold
I think the government signed the petroleum agreement and ratified it in 2016 July. And so if anybody has any concerns about it, I mean, you can just engage government and put across your views. That is not a difficulty at all. That's not a difficulty at all. Like I said, the government is not in for any personal gain. The gain is for the people of Ghana. So if there are any concerns, that you can easily do that, you put it across. These are basis for saying that, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. But at this point, with Springfield in the equation, what really does Springfield bring on board to this whole issue that you're looking at?
I don't understand your question. When you say what does Springfield bring on board, they are the ones, they have interest in the block at this point in time. So I don't know what you mean when you say.
If it is a non-performing block, if the West Cape 3.2 block 2 is non-performing and Springfield is at the other end of the bargain, and the information out there is that Springfield is not upholding its end of the obligations, the contractual obligations. It is why I ask that at this point, when you say that you're doing a lot of research into the matter, government is looking at acquiring, after all of the relevant bodies have put together their reports, what value would Springfield be bringing to this whole conversation?
We'll look at the technical consultants report and advise government appropriately.
Okay. So what's the timelines that Ghanaians should be looking forward to following your press statement that you released?
I'm sure it's a process that has commenced. As soon as possible, the government will go through the process. That's when I say government, GMPC and Petroleum Commission will go through the process of getting a technical consultant.
Well, as soon as possible is quite ambiguous. So that's why we ask what the timeline is. Is it a 6 month timeline? Is it a 3 months timeline? Is it a year's timeline? So that Ghanaians can be following it.
They'll go through the process in accordance with law to select, and then once we get the reports, government will take decisions moving forward.
All right, Richmond, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate you. Richmond Roxon Esquire is the head of communications at the Ministry for Energy and Green Transition, and he says that we should exercise patience as we await experts' report on this matter, and that is where government will start taking decisions on. He says that anybody, any well-meaning Ghanaian body that has concerns concerning this matter can reach out to government and raise concerns with government, but it is early days yet to speculate, to pass judgment on this matter, and so we await what the relevant bodies will present to the ministry. Richmond says that as soon as possible. He's unable to give us definite timelines for when the report will be ready and for the ministry to begin working with said report. Well, we are looking forward to speaking with ASEP. We hope to be able to establish contact with them very soon so that we can also appreciate why ASEP is sounding this warning to government. ASEP is sounding this warning. ASEP says that governments cannot continue to pump money into non-performing oil blocks. We cannot continue pumping money into it. They talk about the contractual agreement that says that if Springfield is unable to if Springfield is unable to meet their contractual agreement, government does not have to buy it back. All they need to do is reacquire it. They do not need to buy it back. And so we would appreciate where Springfield is also coming from with regards to this matter. But this statement from the ministry was on the 19th of November. Government says that they want to look at the West Cape 3 Point Block 2. The West Cape 3 Point Block 2. And their reason is that there's been declining production there. There has been declining production of crude oil in recent years. And government says that it is very urgent that they advance the development of said West Cape 3 Point Block 2. Well, let's see how it goes. We're unable to establish contact with ASEP. We hope that we can in our later conversation so that we will speak with them. But this is what ASEP says. They said that if government wants to, if government wants to take over this West Cape 3 Points Block 2, they do not need to expend so much money on it. And so they say that it does not, it lacks justification. That is what ASEP says. They say it lacks justification. We'll do well and speak with them. We'll look forward to speaking with them. But that is all for our front story this morning on ABC in the morning. We'll take a break. When we return, we bring you ABC Speaks. Stay with us.
jollof.
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Gino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so good.
Jollof so cool. Tasty me.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with a perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. I easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
On the show, we shall start by interrogating your athletes of matters with expert insight from our renowned medical professionals, providing you with actionable advice and cutting-edge knowledge to prevent injuries and optimize performance. They will connect you to the talking points where we'll bring you the big names, the famous faces, and leading voices on our radar in the world of sports for a lively conversation and diverse perspective.
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Points. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performances of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
On Ghana Focus, we shall spotlight our domestic leagues and heroes of other sporting disciplines.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC with Victor and the team as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
The glam we see, the characters we love, they've got stories, stories untapped, events untold, the sequence and details of the experiences unheard.
To my dad, I'm the stubborn one. To my mom, he's the stubborn one.
To the first management that I got, I think I was made to exercise a whole year.
Hey, I'm 20. All I know is how to have sex.
I was out of contract for 4 years.
The pain, the agony, the frustration.
They made my depression worse.
Kimori.
Yes.
The hospital doesn't have a mortuary. We would have to take the baby in a box and then get rid of the body ourselves.
Sometimes I say something and they take it out of context and they bash my husband, they bash my family.
But hey, they survived and they're here to chronicle their journey with me, Miss G,
on ABC News GA.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenyi na da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abe fie.
Jan tasty magic.
Gino magic pepper and onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see what? Hey, wait, this guy. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, wono ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, na abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my wedding jollof?
Oh, Kwame, you know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so cool.
Jollof so cool. Tasty nie.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
On the show, we shall start by interrogating your Admit of Matters with expert insight from our renowned medical professionals, providing you with actionable advice and cutting-edge knowledge to prevent injuries and optimize performance. Then we'll connect you to the talking points where we'll bring you the big names, the famous faces, and leading voices on our radar in the world of sports for a lively conversation and diverse perspective.
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the talking points. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
On Ghana Focus, we shall spotlight our domestic leagues and heroes of other sporting disciplines.
I'm James Makion, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC with Victor and the team as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Magic Pepper and Onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper, and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenini na da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
And your daddy trying to kiss keke.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, any easy. Scoring, any easy. Winning, any easy. You know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. I easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see what? Wait, this guy. My friend, still before.
It's the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telestar Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telestar Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto etiaka. Inti ene, uno banu mumpe baby amubeda. Oh, na abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecell, connecting energies.
Welcome back. Still watching ABC in the morning here on ABC News GH. It's time to hear what we have to say here at ABC News GH. That is why we bring you Ghana. We bring you ABC Speaks. I'm so much excited for Ghana Speaks. It will come very soon. But this time, it is time for ABC Speaks. And my colleague Samuel Nimado is here. Sammy, today, what are we speaking about?
This is Friday.
Viewers, if there's anybody who embodies Friday, it is this gentleman called Samuel Nimado.
I was born on Monday, but I like Fridays. You know why?
Because the holiday.
Tomorrow, I'll sleep.
And wake up and sleep again.
So it's a lovely Friday morning. We are here to give our viewers ABC Speaks. And as we do on ABC Speaks, we present our opinions on issues from the newsroom point of view, giving you the facts, the figures that you need to know about that particular issue. And today, there's a raging conversation about the presidential jet, whether Ghana should acquire presidential jet, because as stated in the 2026 budget, the government is expecting to purchase 2 presidential jets along with 4 other military aircraft for the Ghana Armed Forces. But this whole new inclusion into the budget has generated a lot of debate
so
inside Parliament and out of Parliament, and we are here to give you what you need to know about this debate. So it is ABC Speaks here on ABC in the morning, and today we are going to be discussing a very delicate conversation, one that has taken political turns. If you look at the conversation about buying a presidential jet, so the question we ask is, should buying a presidential jet be a priority for the government? Because this is not the first time we've heard people calling for us to get a presidential jet. And you see the opposition normally will oppose to that idea and raise questions about whether we have the money to buy it or not. But we are here to give you what you know about this whole conversation, because there's been a lot of hypocrisy about this debate. Both sides of the aisle are being hypocritical. I mean, the NDC, NPP in Parliament and even outside of Parliament have been hypocritical about this whole debate. And we are here to give you what you need to know. So today, the debate has turned on its head. The NDC, now in government, is suddenly confronted with the practical realities they once used to attack the Akufo-Addo administration. Now, the NPP, who are in opposition now, when they were in government between 2017 and 2024, from somewhere 2021, they started a conversation about getting a presidential jet when they were in government. Today, they are opposing the government's quest to acquire 2 new presidential jets. But let's look at what the history says about Ghana's presidential jet. We will look at first how many jets the country has bought over the period, and that takes me to the number of acquisitions that the country has made. So if we could quickly get that on our screens here, we'll look at how many times the country has bought presidential jets. And whenever this jet was bought, what was the conversation like? What was both sides of both sides saying? I mean, those in government and those outside government. So you will look at the presidential jets and those that Ghana has bought over the period. The first jet that the country acquired was the DH-125 presidential jet. It was acquired under the Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's regime in 1962. That was Ghana's first presidential jet, bought by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president and prime minister. Now, after Nkrumah, in somewhere 1976, under the military rule of Ignatius Kutu Echampong, Ghana also bought the presidential jet, which was the Fokker 228 jet. Now, in recent history, in the Fourth Republic, the first presidential jet was bought in 1998 by President Jerry John Rawlings. May he so rest in perfect peace. The late J.J. Rawlings bought Ghana's first jet in the Fourth Republic in 1998. As at that time, the opposition NPP opposed to it. They were raising questions as to why the government was spending huge sums of money to buy this jet, the Gulfstream G3 jet. They raised a lot of questions opposing it as why the government was spending millions of cedis and dollars to buy a presidential jet when we had the Fokker 28. Same way that the NPP is doing today. Whenever they come into government, they suddenly realize that the jet that Ghana has is out or is not fit for purpose. But whenever they move out of government, the jet suddenly becomes fit for purpose, and they oppose it, that the country should continue to use the old jet. So this is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. Both sides of the political divide, the NDC and the NPP, have exhibited some level of hypocrisy when it comes to this debate about presidential jet. After Rawlings, in 2007, President J. Kufuor commenced the process to replace the Ghana's presidential jet, to buy a new presidential jet. The current jet that we are using, the Falcon 900EX jet that the country is using now, it was President J. Kufuor who started the processes to purchase the jet. He requested it in 2007, but the jet was delivered to the country in 2010. Now, one thing we need to note is that in 2007, when the conversation started that the country needed a presidential jet, the then opposition NDC opposed the idea. They said that the presidential jet was fit for purpose and the country should continue using the Gulfstream G3 jet that was bought in 1998. Kufuor resisted all this opposition, made up his mind that he was going to replace the presidential jet. Because if you listen to some interviews that the former president has had, he said that he and his entourage nearly had an accident. Let's go back to the previous one. Now, he says that he and his entourage nearly had an accident with the presidential jet. That was when he realized that the country needed to retool our presidential jet and get a new one for the safety of the president. The then opposition NDC rejected the idea, opposed it vehemently. But the surprising thing is that when the jet was delivered in 2010, when the NPP administration was out of power, the late president, Evanas Atamils, received this jet, the Falcon 900EX jet. And he didn't just receive it, there was a whole inauguration ceremony to celebrate Ghana's acquisition of a new jet. So this is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. They opposed it when they were in opposition, but when the country acquired the jet in 2010, there was an inaugural ceremony for this particular jet, to welcome the jet, to unveil the jet, something that they opposed in opposition suddenly found that there was the need for Ghana to acquire a new jet. And in fact, the former defense minister then, the defense minister then says that the old jet was not fit for purpose. The G3, the Gulfstream G3 jet was not fit for purpose. Hence, the country needed to replace the jet, and they were happy that they had received the Falcon 900EX. This is where we are, or this is how many jets Ghana has bought in recent times, or in its history. And at any point in time, especially in the Fourth Republic, whenever a new jet is bought, there is this debate as to whether it is necessary. And those in government always seems to support the necessity of acquiring a presidential jet. But those out of government, the opposition, always resist it. So it is like when I'm in government, I see the necessity. When I'm outside of government, all of a sudden there are other priorities the country must focus on, and the presidential jet is no more a necessity. That's the hypocrisy that the politicians have played over the years. Now, the conversation about acquiring the new jet in started somewhere in 2021 under the Elsewell administration of the NPP. And I wanted to look at who started the conversation. Now, at a point in 2020, somewhere from 2020 to 2021, the president, former president then, or former president now, and the president then, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, started to use private jet, or started to fly in commercial and private jets. Then the then ranking member on Parliament Foreign Affairs Committee, current Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, raised the question in Parliament asking why the president was buying or was flying private jets. Now, before we get to his commentary, let's look at what Nitwo said. If you can get that presentation Nitwo did in Parliament. Let's get the quote of Nitwo when he made a presentation in Parliament responding to a question that Okudzeto had asked in or on the floor of Parliament. He was responding to the question, and that was from Nitwo. If we can get the Nitwo quote, but if we don't get the Nitwo, this was Okudzeto Ablakwa posted on his Facebook on October 12, 2021. This was Okudzeto Ablakwa posting on his Facebook on October 12, 2021. Now, he says that, keep your Falcon and buy me a new, bigger, more luxurious presidential jet, or I will continue to charter in vulgar opulence the Boeing 737-97YER BBG registered LX Dio at $14,000 an hour, no matter how loud your resistance. And he was referring to the then President Akufo-Addo here. That is the clear message. That is the clear message from President Akufo-Addo to outrage Ghanaians as he continues to contemptuously defy public outcry by his continuous stiff-necked lease of the now famous, distinctively blue and white ultra luxury executive jet. This was the statement or a Facebook post that the then ranking member on Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament posted when this whole conversation started. He was of the opinion that the country, Ghana, the president, should continue using the Falcon 900 ES jet. He says it was in pristine condition and the president should stop flying in private jet, which I agree that if even our jet, the presidential jet, was not in good condition to be used, we should fly moderate jets that will not come at huge cost to the country. So his opposition was mainly because the president then was flying in what he described as very luxurious flight that was costing the country millions of cedis. And when he placed the question in Parliament and Nitwo came in, let's go to the next one, and Nitwo came in to say that the jet, this is the Nitwo statement. Nitwo says that the capacity of the current Falcon aircraft is far below that of the Fokker 28, which flew very, very important persons of more than 25 passengers during the Champon, Akufo-Addo, Rawlings, and Kufuor eras. Hence, the urgent need for an appropriate aircraft which can better payload in terms of passengers of 70 to 100 people and to carry all their baggage without affecting the performance of the aircraft. This was Nitwo's argument, that the Falcon 900 EX jet was not in good condition, and in fact the jet only has 28 passenger seats. So when a president was even using it, we needed to the entourage, when you say the president is traveling and his entourage, the ministers, if there are many, some of them needed to fly commercial flights. So he says that it was time for the country to purchase a new presidential jet to replace the Falcon. He says it was not fit for purpose, but this was not well received by the then opposition NDC. They said, no, we had other priorities. Our economy was not in good condition. We had schools under trees. We had, in fact, they listed thousands of things that the government could have used the money that we want to use to buy the presidential jet to do. And when the president was flying in private jet, they were doing calculations of how much we spend per each jet, per an hour and per minute and all of that. And that didn't make sense then. So certainly, does it make sense now? Or should it make sense now? That's the question we want to answer. And that's the hypocrisy we are seeking to on it and unveil and let Ghanaians know that the debate over a presidential jet has turned to a political game, and it is costing the country much than we think, and we should be focusing our attention to having a policy on the use of presidential jet, or even when we want to use private jet, we should have a deliberate policy for that. We don't have a policy, so everybody does what he likes. Every president comes in and he feels like, okay, I want to use private jet because the Falcon is not working. Currently, we understand that the president is flying commercial, and the jet was returned to the country not long ago. Some few days ago, we understood on Monday that the Falcon had been returned to the country after being sent to France for some repair works to be done on it. It has been returned to the country, and so within the period since the president came in, this administration came in to now, it means that we've been flying most of the time commercial flights. So we need a policy that will guide our usage of either a private jet or commercial flights, or we need a policy that will help the country acquire a fit-for-purpose presidential jet. Because what is clear from all these political gimmicks that the politicians are playing is that the Falcon jet, the Falcon 900 jet, it's not fit for purpose. It's undergone some repair works, yes, but sooner you see that the jet goes back to square one. And the country needs to retool our jet. We need to get the president a fit-for-purpose jet, because the safety of the president should be paramount in our line of things. It doesn't matter. Yes, we understand that we have a lot of developmental needs. We have schools on the trees still being a problem on our necks. We have high cost of living, a lot of roads in deplorable state, a lot of developmental needs. But the safety of the president cannot be compromised. So what do we need as a country? Have we defined the parameters? Have we defined what we need in terms of our foreign travels for our president and his entourage? We don't have a policy. Yes, when this whole conversation started, one thing I liked was that the now current foreign affairs minister said that he was going to move a private member's bill in Parliament. I didn't see the futility of that, the fruitfulness of that bill. He was going to lay a private member's bill in Parliament that will seek to restrict the president's use of private jet and provide a guideline as to the foreign travels of the country. So all this debate that we are having, and currently there's the debate after the 2026 budget statement was read that we are having now, it has shadowed the most important thing that we should be discussing, which is what is the way forward? What is the policy to guide the country's use of private jet? Now, let me just, because of time, I need to quickly wrap up. But let's listen to the debate that ensued in Parliament. That ensued in Parliament on Wednesday, when the minority discovered that the government was budgeting some $1.2 billion, approximately 13 million Ghana cedis, to acquire 4 aircraft for our Ghana Armed Forces and 2 new presidential jets in a span of about 4 years. When they discovered it and they brought it to the floor of Parliament, let's just give you that snippet of that debate. If my producer can help me with that, just get to listen to what the parliamentarians were arguing about and the response from the majority side of the House. Let's listen to that, and we quickly come to give our conclusion on this.
The military of Ghana already has 3 medium-sized range aircraft, the military one. Mr. Speaker, for the long-range aircraft, Mr. Speaker, it includes heavy bombers like B-2, large transport aircraft. I also laid this so that you can read for your own. Mr. Speaker, it only leaves Ghana. Ghana does not need and cannot operate and no African country operates a long-range military aircraft. It only leaves us with one option, what we call the VIP aircraft. Mr. Speaker, this is how the VIP aircraft looks like. What in Ghana here we call presidential aircraft. This is how it looks like. And you intend to buy 2 of them. Mr. Speaker, this is how they look like. Mr. Speaker, I say this, I cannot, and let me repeat, I cannot.
Of the budget statement. Mr. Speaker, under item 34 titled Ministry of Defense, Mr. Speaker, where it is captured retooling of the Air Force, where the CAPEX, capital expenditure, is quoted by 2.5 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has indicated in page 136, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has multiplied in the page 184, Mr. Speaker, every year they will provide for it. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude that the statement I made in my contribution to the debate of the budget is on firm grounds, it's on terra firma. They are beginning this year and they are going to continue for 4 years, and this year $2.5 billion have been programmed. If you multiply it by 4, it's $1.2 billion to buy 1 ship, to buy 4 helicopters, and to buy 2 presidential jets. Mr. Speaker, the facts and the data are unimpeachable and unequivocal. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I still stand my grounds that when he said that we are purchasing a presidential jet for $1.2 billion United States dollars, it is not in the records, and your decision that it should be struck off the records is right. If you go and tabulate all planned expenditure on retooling the Air Force, not buying a presidential jet, I will oppose. I will lead this House. I will lead this side. And if they don't support me, I will lead whoever is willing to be led.
So that was a debate in Parliament. You see the MP for Damango, Samuel Abujinapo, rising to the floor to indicate that the government was spending some $1.2 billion on retooling the Ghana Armed Forces and acquiring 2 presidential jets. Nitul made a similar argument yesterday on the floor, repeated that argument, and he even said that the NDC needs to apologize to Ghanaians for the deceit and the sudden change in their tone, because when he was defense minister and brought this to the floor of Parliament, they rejected it, they opposed the idea, but all of a sudden they have now gone to make it a part of their budget. So he believes that yes, we need to buy a presidential jet, but the politicking about it needs to stop, and he says that the government should come and explain to Ghanaians why we need a jet and apologize to us. So, and then you see the majority leader say that it was not true, that the country, the president or the budget had made allocation to purchase private jet. But later he came to realize that it was true, and when he did, he said, oh, we will buy it. If it is needed, we have the money, we will buy the presidential jet. The hypocrisy and the politicking of this whole conversation has closed the door, or shadowed what should be the most important thing: getting a foreign travels policy for the country. What we need, or how we want our president to travel. If we need to get a presidential jet, we make funds for it, because the safety of the president cannot be compromised. No 2 ways about that. So if the Falcon, as we have now, both sides of the House have come to agree that it is not fit for purpose. The NDC said it was fit for purpose in 2020 coming, but they've realized that it is not. The NPP, when they were in opposition, knew that it was not fit for purpose. That's why they wanted to buy a new jet. and they didn't succeed in that. Now they are in opposition. My point is, I understand your opposition members, so sometimes you need to raise concerns, call out the government and all of that. But we all know that the jet as we have now is not fit for purpose. Even if it is fit for purpose, it can only carry 12 people. And we know our president, the nature of our foreign travels, that the president sometimes travels with more than 20, sometimes close to 20 persons. What do we do? So we need a foreign travels policy to guide the usage of either private jet, commercial jet, or even a presidential jet. Let us not make this the usual politicking, and at the end of the day, we go nowhere. We waste money again to be traveling on private jet, and there's no policy to regulate it. Everybody does what it thinks is best or good for them, because the money is there for them to fly at any luxurious flight they want. Let's get the policy down. If you want to go to Parliament to get the policy, which is the right way, go to Parliament, present a bill, let's develop a policy around our foreign travels and stop this unnecessary politicking, because all the sides, the two sides, know very well that the Falcon is not fit for purpose. So let's do the honorable thing, the honorable members of Parliament, and get a foreign travels policy for our country. It has been ABC Speaks here on ABC in the morning. And Abena, you see what our politicians are doing?
Well, I really agree with you when you say that we need a foreign policy. Yeah,
a foreign travels policy.
Yes, it's very, very important, so that some of these things don't become the cycle. Yeah. Like yesterday, the former defense minister said, if for about 4 years, the now government, then opposition, were against it, opposing the buying of the presidential jet. What has changed within the past 11 months, for which now we need not one but two. Yeah. And so we need to take a look at these things. It's very, very important. Like you said, and rightly so, the lives of our presidents are very important. We cannot undermine, jeopardize, undermine. We just can't weigh the lives of our presidents on a mean scale. So it's very important that we really, really safeguard the lives of our presidents. And so if the new private jet is going to help, why not? But indeed, there should be a foreign travel policy. We should look at it better. Make sure that when we are going to buy a new jet, it is the best that we can buy, so that we know that
save the country a lot of money.
Yes, exactly.
From the unnecessary.
Because I've really been worried when some of these conversation comes and we talk about the lives of our presidents like it's just normal.
That is why I understand the minority now, because when they brought it to the floor of Parliament, the minority then trivialized the whole conversation, made it look like the president then wanted to travel in luxurious flight. That's why he was flying private jets and all of that. But they have now come to realize that the jets as we have now is not fit for purpose. And sometimes it becomes inconvenient to be traveling commercial flights.
But you see, also we reduced the whole conversation to just the presidential jets, when we know that they also want to reach to the Ghana Armed Forces, especially
very important.
Very important. The very unfortunate situation that happened. Anytime I think about it, I get really sad. I believe that we will do better. And so maybe after ABC Speaks, we'll also wait to hear what
the authorities,
the duty bearers will say.
All right, so Abena, I hand it over to you.
Well, thank you, Sammy. Thank you so much for bringing us ABC Speaks. And that's all for ABC Speaks this morning on ABC in the Morning. We'll bring you Ghana Speaks, where you too can share your thoughts. We have shared our thoughts. We'll wait for you to also share your thoughts and let us know what you think. After this break, we'll start with our main discussion, where we'll bring you conversations on this presidential jet. We'll bring you conversation on the Ghana Armed Forces recruitment process that has resumed in Accra, and also 5 forest reserves that a report indicates have been taken over by armed men. After this break, we will be back. Stay with us.
Playing for your country, enye easy. Scoring, enye easy. Winning, enye easy. You know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted groundnuts. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenini na da da da. So pa mediane no abe.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see you. Hey, wait, Jessica. My friend, see before.
It's the Telesur Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telesur Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telesur Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telesur Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno banu mpe baby amubeda. Oh, na abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning here. ABC in the morning here on ABC News GH. We'll get straight into our main discussion and we have some topics to look at. Again, we'll look at the presidential jet, the debate that is so rife about the presidential jet. Yesterday, Dominic Nitu, former defense minister, rose to debate the 2026 budget, and he spoke about the need to acquire new presidential jets. Indeed, this government, as part of this 2026 budget, says that 2 presidential jets will be acquired, including some other aircrafts for the military. This is in line with retooling the military. When the report for the military aircraft that went down a few months ago that claimed the lives of 6 Ghanaians was reported or was presented, one thing that was very paramount in the conversation was retooling that our aircraft was not just there. There were some very important components that should have been available when that plane, the helicopter was flying. Unfortunately, we did not have those. And so it really brings up the question of retooling our military. Our military is doing a great job, and we really need to give them all that they need. Dominic Nitiwo says that, as for him, he's not going to stand against getting presidential jets for our president. And so this is very important. However, he thinks that it's really disingenuous of this government to be bringing this up 11 months in power, because for the past couple of years, this is the same set of people who have fiercely opposed the buying of aircraft, presidential jets. And so what is the difference? Well, let's start the conversation. And we have joining us Peter Lanchi Ntobu. He is the Vice Chair of the Defense and Interior Committee, and also Manasseh Atabuahene, a communications team member of the NPP. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me this morning. You're welcome.
Most grateful for the
Hello, gentlemen.
And good morning to my co-panelists.
Good morning and thank you. Honorable Lanchi Ntobu, I will start with you, but let me inform my viewers that we'll also be joined on the conversation by lawyer Apia Dankwa, who is a senior communications member of the United Party. But Honorable Tobu, let me start with you. Having been a part of the Defense Committee, and not just being a part of it, you are the Vice Chair of the committee. From your side, as government in power, what has changed 11 months on? Some years ago, just even before you entered Parliament, you fiercely spoke against acquiring new presidential jets for our president's travels. 11 months on, 2 jets are what you want to buy for the president's travels. What changed?
Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to say good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to my co-panelists on the other side. It's a brand new day. We're thinking about Ghana, and as we debate the budget that is transformative in character, a budget that is revolutionary, a budget that is sending Ghana to the level that we say Ghana is being reset. My dear sister, what has changed after a new government came into power 11 months? What has changed? One, time has changed. We have a new government that has spent 11 months in power. And within the 11 months, so much has happened. What has changed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What has changed within the 11 months? Inflation has dropped to 8%. The economy is on track. What has changed? The exchange rate in the past, during the regime in 2024, if you took $1 million, in fact, if you wanted $1 million, you have to go and look for 17 million Ghana cedis. Today, the same $1 million, just get some 10.7 million Ghana cedis, and you get $1 million. That has changed. What has changed? We have a president who says, what I say, I do. We have a president who talks about a legacy term and is willing to do things differently. What has changed? Recently, unfortunately, we had the aircraft that crashed, and we lost souls. And we came to the realization that, listen, the Ghana Armed Forces, and that is the Ghana Navy, the Ghana Air Force, the Ghana Army, were required to be retooled. What has changed? If you wanted to buy a presidential aircraft at the time that $1 is equal to 17 cedis. If you wanted to buy a presidential aircraft at the time that inflation is over the roof, if you wanted to buy a presidential aircraft at the time that you are bringing debt exchange rate program onto the Ghanaian people, at the time that you are giving the Ghanaian people haircuts, that people have done their investment and for nothing, due to bad management of the economy, you are giving them a haircut. You are bringing a domestic debt exchange program, and people, some died out of that due to pain. What has changed? So much has changed to the point that at this particular moment, if an aircraft that used to cost 17 million Ghana cedis is sold today, you can buy it at 10.7 or less million Ghana cedis. And you can save almost 6 million Ghana cedis. That is just an example. That is what has changed. And we are believing that providing the best security for His Excellency the President is the way to go. Because they will tell you locally that when a fish is going to get rotten, it starts from the head. In the same way, when a nation must progress, it starts from great thinking by the leader. It starts from great leadership by the leader. And that leader must enjoy the highest degree of protection to have a sound mind, a clean environment, to be able to think through stuff and transform this country, as we all agree that we are on a reset agenda. So much has changed within 11 months, to the point that when the Honorable Minister for Finance, Dr. Kasiel Atoba-Forson, the man who is on track to becoming the finance minister for the decade, when he came to a parliament and presented the 2026 budget, I have told many people that budget cannot be debated. We can only comment on it. How are you debating over something that is very good? What will you say for and against?
Tobu,
yes, please.
Honorable Tobu, looking at all of the arguments you have advanced for the purchase of these new jets, what is some of the arguments that the former government also advanced? Primarily, is the safety of our president. At the time, wasn't the safety of the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, paramount, for which we should have seen the need to have bought the budget even before now?
Thank you so much. When you have a president who believes that his security is paramount, and we all believe that the president's security is paramount, and the president can actually sink $58 million in digging a hole, can use so much money to charter private jets instead of accumulating to buy. You have a president who believes that his security is important, and we all believe him to be so, and that we should buy a new presidential jet for use by the president. It's not a bad thing. Do you have the muscle, the financial muscle, to be able to do that? When your cedi was so weak to the point that $1 was going for 17 Ghana cedis. So we are talking about the economy of it, and we are talking about the security of it. The security of it stands throughout, but the economy of it has changed totally within 11 months. And that is so much that has changed. And we can stand and say, it is time. And we are not even talking about presidential jet. Let's get it right. We are retooling the Ghana Armed Forces. We are retooling the Ghana Navy. We are retooling the
Honorable Tobu, are you saying
airport.
that we are not buying presidential jets?
I am not saying that. I am saying that let people not put it in the head. We are retooling the Ghana Armed Forces. When you buy a presidential jet, it will be flown by the Air Force. It will not be flown by the president and the
presidential jet for which the president will be traveling in, won't it?
It is a jet to be used by the state, and the president, of course, will use it. You know, I mean, yesterday, on the floor of Parliament, you could hear the former defense minister say that for him, in principle, he supported because Ghana needs a strategic career. And if Ghana requires a strategic career, and now they argued on it the last time, and we said, you have run the economy down, and we don't believe that you can do due diligence and value for money. We argued against it. Today, the economy is on track. Well, there is stability in the macroeconomic indicators. And we can tell you, as a matter of fact, that we have the muscle over the next 4 years to procure a helicopter. People should also take note of this. Listen, when you are procuring this, it's going to take at least 4 years. So it's not just for President John Dramani Mahama. He may not even sit in it before he leaves office. But the nation requires it. We should be talking about what can we be doing. Let me land. We should be asking ourselves, what can we be doing from now till we get the new aircraft procured? What should we be doing? How do we provide security for our president? in terms of flying around the world before the new procurement processes goes through. And that will take at least a minimum of 3 to 4 years. So it is not for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. It is for the President of the Republic of Ghana, who is likely not to be him when the aircraft are finally procured.
Honorable Tobu, at this point in time, we appreciate that indeed we need a new presidential jet. Had we procured it, you are saying that this procurement will be done within the next 4 years, and so there's a high probability that this President, John Dramani Mahama, may not even use it. But had we found merit in the argument that the then government had advanced, we would have been able to buy these jets even before this government came in power, and President Mahama would not have to be flying commercial.
Thank you very much. If I want to reiterate my position very clearly on the matter, we are saying that in principle, every president requires the best of security. In principle, every traveling president requires the best of an aircraft to represent the nation. We are talking about aviation diplomacy. It's an area that we begin to look at as a people. Aviation diplomacy is a key area that even the plane you use when you are going for conferences, it determines your status, and sometimes it attracts some respect. But we are saying, when you have an economy that was run down, that for 8 good years we were shown a horror movie, and the same person comes to tell you, I want to use millions of dollars to go and procure a jet for the president. Excuse me, the president who knows that putting 58 million Ghana cedis down the drain will end up with just a hole. Will you be prudent enough to go and procure a presidential jet? Will you be prudent? If it is about prudence and you think that you have priorities right, what you spend your money on, to the point that you even go and take a loan, and because you've acquired a loan, you come and celebrate and do a party? Excuse me, is that the kind of people that we wanted to continue to spend our money? We thought that they were becoming too frugal, and we believe that no, we won't allow this to continue to happen. We represent the Ghanaian people, and the voices were loud on the ground. When you find me in Parliament or on the floor of Parliament and I'm making statements, I am not just speaking as Peter Lanchene Tobu. I am making those statements because the people I represent are crying and their voices must be heard. So I am the voice of the voiceless. So at that material moment, the voices of the Ghanaian people say, no, 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 no. In principle, we need it, but this government to procure it, we don't even have any confidence that they will do a good job. And that is why we kicked against it.
So your issue then was with the government, and for which we should not have procured it. So at that point, Honorable Tobu, would you have expected that the president then, the former president, continued to fly the jet that was not fit for purpose?
They told us it was fit for purpose. And they've been using it. Until they told us that something was wrong and they didn't want to use it again. And they wanted to buy a new one. The argument I'm putting across is the fact that, in principle, in the area of security, both MPP and NDC have no disagreement. In the area of managing the economy to be able to raise enough finances to finance the procurement of a jet for His Excellency the President, we are miles apart. We are far better. Where is their solid economic team? When you put water in the fridge and the temperature drops to below zero, within some time it becomes very hard, it becomes solid. But you leave it outside for some time. Let even the natural temperature flow. Gradually it will melt. And if you add some heat, it will evaporate. Where is that their solid economic team? It has evaporated. What record do they have to say? What record have they got to show us? Debt exchange program that will hang ourselves for how many years, hoping by next year we'll exit the debt operation. People have died out of that. You buy bonds, you save your money, you invest your money for no reason. You get up in the morning and they slash everything off and give you a clean haircut. Is that the competence we require? Is that the competence we need in a democracy? Is that why we promote our democracy going forward? Listen, if it is wrong, let's all say so, irrespective of our partisan beliefs. If it is right, let's say so. But let's not be blind by partisan beliefs that because it is MPP, if I am NDC, it must necessarily be wrong. Or because it is NDC who is doing it, if I am MPP, it should necessarily be wrong. If we go that tangent, I think that probably we've missed the understanding of democracy. Democracy is about sharing of brilliant ideas that can project a country into the future better enough to carry the people to where they ought to be, not necessarily where they want to be. That is democracy. But
all right,
if we think that it's all about
and then bring in Manasseh into the conversation. Manasseh, Now, government is looking at retooling the Ghana Armed Forces. As part of the retooling, we'll see some 2 new presidential jets. How do you receive this?
Well, let me say a very good morning to our cherished viewers and to my panelists.
Hello, Manasseh.
Yes, hello. Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now. Please go on.
Yes, a very good morning to our viewers and to our panelists. I think that it's about time we tone down on the politics of the safety of our presidents. You see, it is so surprising today to hear the NDC arguing vehemently, that they want to purchase two presidential jets, when they strongly opposed the purchase of just one. And I don't know if I rightly heard, Honorable, that we are not talking about presidential jets. When you read their budget, okay, when you go to page 136, paragraph 1091, it reads, Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Armed Forces will be retooled. Beginning 2026, the government of Ghana will begin the procurement process for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters, 1 long-range and 1 medium-range aircrafts. And everybody is aware that the long-range and the medium-range aircraft will be used by the executive. This is trite knowledge. And this is what we are talking about. So, and you see, this also brings to bear the issue of misplaced priority. The government has missed it completely, because this is a government who has told Ghanaians clearly in the face that they will not be able to, allocate any funds to employ about 150,000, nurses and teachers. This is the government, that has mentioned in their budget that they were going to create 800,000, jobs for the young people. And when you interrogate those figures, you only realize that about 490,000 of these jobs are just labor work, construction work, related to the Big Push program or the construction of major, roads across the country. 250,000 of these jobs are related to the oil palm plantation, job. And so this is what we are talking about, complete incidence of misplaced priority. And when you probe the budget, they seek to spend 13.1 billion Ghana cedis within four years. That is 1.2 billion US dollars. Okay, they want to spend 1.2 billion US dollars just for the purposes of acquiring 4 helicopters and 2 private jets. But when you go back and you even go into what they themselves said in opposition, that is what is quite amazing. They were clear in the arguments that the presidential jet is in pristine condition. And let's not forget that just a week or so ago, the Deputy Minister for the Defense, Goja Jemfi, updated the whole country that our presidential jet, which had been away for 8 months in France, is back, and it has undergone massive and thorough repairs. And so it is fit for purpose. So it is surprising that the government today, instead of focusing, a lot of the funds in job creation, the very anchor on which they campaigned, today they come into power and they are just missing it completely. And this is very, very worrying to the Ghanaian people. It is so surprising. The Falcon 900 EXE, of course, is in good condition. They themselves have said it. They were very strong in opposing any purchase whatsoever for a private jet. And so when we raise these issues and we are talking about it, we don't want anybody to brush it to the sidelines. These are critical issues. When you look at the allocations, 2026, they are seeking to allocate 2.6 billion Ghana cedis, 2027 around 3.5 billion, 2028 around 3.3 billion, 2029 around 3.5 billion. Almost 13 billion Ghana cedis for the purchase of some private jets and military aircraft, whilst the masses of Ghanaian youth continue to struggle with jobs. These are the things we are talking about. And so we want to be clear in our argument that we in the minority don't support these things. And the NDC is really struggling with principles. You condemn the purchase of one aircraft when you were in opposition. 11 months on, you come into office and now you want to purchase two. And we are raising objection and you are saying, no, we can't talk. That's not the issue. Where are your principles? These are the things we are talking about. And so we are just surprised that they couldn't even go in to purchase one, but they want to buy two for the purposes of their comfort, whilst a lot of the Ghanaian youth continue to struggle. At this time, we are struggling to even pay nurses. We are unable to provide meaningful employment for people. What is the enabling environment this government is putting in place to ensure that a lot of the young people, are able to get meaningful jobs to do? These are the things we are talking about. But for government to even plan to, allocate 2.6 billion, this same 2.6 billion could have gone into the completion of a lot of the Agenda 1 hospitals, of which they are saying they will complete only 10 this year. However, they want to build 600 or 500 chips compound.
Well, Manasseh, I'll come back to you.
When we read about these things, we get too worried. Because when it comes to the health of the Ghanaian people,
I'll come back to
the Agenda 111 was to ensure that districts
we don't want to stray
too far. We didn't have hospitals will be provided with a hospital, so that when someone is sick, the person wouldn't have to get on board a taxi or Praga or Abubuya to travel across one or two districts to be able to benefit from health services.
Well, so that we do not stray too far
we expected the government to pay more attention to. One of which is the Agenda 111 district hospitals.
Let us stay within the remit. Let us stay within the remit
for the comfort of the executive is something that is very worrying, and it demands a lot of critique to the government.
Well, this conversation seems to be going. Seems to be winding, because those are the same arguments that the then opposition was also bringing up. This brings me to the matter of policy, and let me again come back to you, Honorable Lanchin Tobu. Is it a time that we developed a travel policy, a foreign travel policy? Because this issue of always playing politics with the travel of our president, and it's very important that we look at the safety of our president. The ex-president had to rely on flying a private jet to and fro. Now President Mahama is relying on flying commercial to and fro. Do we not need a travel policy, a foreign travel policy, to guide the travels of our president?
The truth of the matter is, when we are talking about the Ghanaian economy, we are talking about retooling the Ghana Armed Forces. And I have my MPP friends make comments. We take it in good faith, but we are not supposed to be listening to them. For 8 good years, they had the mandate. They ran down the country. Their priorities were just not right, and all they thought of was about themselves. Today, listen, a poor man has no policy. In poverty, you don't have policy. Today, the economy is coming back on track. Our macroeconomic indicators are showing stability of the Ghanaian economy. The future looks bright. The city is stronger. The economy is being restructured. We are looking at transforming the Ghanaian economy. And what we say is what we do. If we look into the budget, with all the comments that are being made, as if we don't know what we are doing. 0.8 million Ghanaians will get jobs. This is a budget that has a vision. 800,000 Ghanaians are targeted to get jobs under this budget. If you calculate the number of people who even get jobs under the big push, it will amaze you. If you calculate the number of people who are going to get jobs because we are going to complete the abandoned e-blocks for years and get teachers on board, it will amaze you. It is our style to think about the Ghanaian people. It is our style to believe that the future belongs to the youth. So this is a youth-sensitive government. And that is why we created the Ministry of Youth Development, to concentrate on looking at the interests of the youth, providing decent jobs for the youth. And when we talk about decent jobs, I mean decent jobs, not menial jobs. So this government is on track. As for the politics, sometimes it's just because we are in the game called politics. But when we come to patriotism and national development, and we are looking at the security of the president, you ask yourself, do you have the muscle, the financial muscle to be able to do what you want to do? And the finance minister has demonstrated that I have built enough reserves. Our economy is stronger. What we couldn't do a year ago, today we can do because of the good management of the economy. So those who run it down, let them continue to wail in the forest. But what we are saying is that the Ghanaian people know that they gave us absolute majority in parliament, and they believe we can do what is right for the Ghanaian people, and we are on course to doing that. Wait until we roll up the 24-hour economy. We've just provided about 100 million Ghana cedis in the budget for a start. But when the 24-hour economy is running, you come to appreciate that when we talk about transformation, it is a process. It's not an event. It takes time. And this is just 11 months. The 11-month performance of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama far outweighs what they did for 8 good years. They should let us have our peace. And if they have any positive contributions to make to support us progress, they should do that. But they can't drag us back. If they knew better, they would have done better.
Or a vice chair to the Defense and Interior Committee, should we be expecting that a foreign travel policy be looked at very soon, at least as soon as we enter into the new year?
The Minister for Foreign Affairs have hinted that the Defense and Interior Committee are quite on a standby, and we will look at it as a country. At least we need a standing policy to guide presidential travels. Presidential travel that ignores the benefit of the country. We have
I want to get you better. Did you say the minister says that the Defense and Interior Committee be standby as the nation looks at it? I want to get you right, sir.
I am saying that in the past, when Honorable Okujato was on this presidential jet issue, he had proposed a travel policy to guide the first gentleman of the land. And I'm saying that if that one is brought up from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs angle and from the Defense and Interior angle, we'll put our heads together and see that we'll try to get something that can stand the test of time. But whatever it is, we are in this together. And Ghanaians must think about the security of our president. There is something that is emerging that we call aviation diplomacy. Aviation diplomacy is so important, and we can benefit a lot from ensuring that our presidents fly a befitting aircraft and land at conferences and programs, and will have that national image projected and for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. So we'll do the best that we can. But the truth is that it doesn't matter what you think you can do or what you think you want to do as a country. It will boil down to one point. Do you have the financial muscle? Is your economy strong enough? There are two things. His Excellency Kofi Annan said it some time ago. He said you can't have development without security. So the first thing is, let's secure our borders. And you know what? If your house is not secured, you don't have a home. If your house is not secured, you don't have a home. Security first, and we'll talk about development. And when development comes on a very stable security environment, Ghana is on track to being transformed. The reset agenda is really on.
All right. Well, Manasseh, let me, I'll be coming back to you very shortly, but let me start picking Honorable Tobu's thoughts on the new recruitment process that the Ghana Armed Forces has put in place, especially here in Accra. You go to the All-Wax Sports Stadium, and the recruitment is happening in 2 groups. One, the same stadium, but they have divided it into 2. 1 and 2 at Nicholson Park 2. It's happening same. Honorable Tobu, did it have to take the death of 6 Ghanaians, 6 young ladies, for us to put together a seamless process as we are seeing?
Thank you very much. I heard Manasseh. I don't know who's Manasseh is on the other side.
It is Manasseh Atabuahene. He is a communications member for the NPP.
Okay. Let me say good morning to my very good brother. Very soon he speaks well. I will try and convince him to come and join a party that has life, a party that has a future, the National Democratic Congress. Manasseh, good morning. Let's go to the recruitment process. My dear sister, in life, they say necessity is the mother of invention. Does it have to take 6 life loss before we can sit up and do what we saw yesterday? That is a question. It's a multi-million-dollar question and everybody's asking. But the truth is that we are so apologetic to the Ghanaian people that 1 life loss is 1 too many. Very particularly the life of a young girl. Because we know, as a gender-sensitive government, we know the essence of woman in governance. So if you lose 6 young girls, it touches the heart and core of His Excellency President Mohammed's gender-sensitive governance. It is quite unfortunate, and we'll continue to console the family. And all the time I speak, I convey my deepest condolences to the families, the bereaved families. The truth is that yesterday, when we went out to visit this site with the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff and his military high command, we were amazed at the immediate transformation. The transition was so sharp from what we saw, the crowd and the chaos, and what we saw yesterday, the serenity, the calm, the relaxed posture of potential recruits. We asked ourselves, how did we get it wrong? And sometimes, it's the Ghanaian thing. Oh, from Kwame Nkrumah, that is how it has been. There's nothing wrong. Until one day something goes wrong and say, yeah, from Kwame Nkrumah, that is how it has been. It means that it's gotten older, we need to change it. Something triggers, and the change comes very fast. What we saw at Elwak Sports Stadium, what we saw at the famous Nicholson Stadium, what we saw at the Air Force Base yesterday, and this actually marks the new way to go. It guides the creation of a new standard operating procedure. And I think that getting recruited is fun. If you are not even successful, you shouldn't go through the unnecessary pressure. Already, lack of a job has given you some psychological pressure. So when you go through the recruitment process, it should be a relaxing process. These are not military recruits. These are applicants. And when they get into the system and you are not taking them through your curriculum, you can treat them the way you have to treat them to become good soldiers. But until then, they are just ordinary civilians who must be treated nicely. And I think that I want to thank the CDS, the fact that they took a very fast step to ensure that those who are responsible have been made to step aside. They've appointed a new HR, and they've designed a new procedure, and they're rolling out the new procedure. The process is so seamless, and we are praying that the Board of Inquiry Investigation that is being conducted now, when the results are out, and somebody must be held responsible, the person can be held responsible. One thing that is also important for us to note, when we talk about stampede could be out of negligence. Stampede could be deliberately created by somebody just to cause mess. Stampede has a lot of factors. The investigative report will have to tell us what was the catalyst that created the stampede that finally led to the death of these young girls. The investigation is still ongoing, so I wouldn't want to preempt anything. But for some of us, we are praying that that report will be thorough and the recommendations will be deeper, and we'll run with it.
Okay. Well, Manasseh, let me come to you. You see how seamless the process has been so far since it began yesterday. Really, what does it tell of us as a people that we always have to pick up after the pot has been broken? We have to pick up the pieces and put them back together.
Abna, pardon me to use just a minute to share my thoughts on the foreign travel policy you initially made. I think that whether we implement a foreign travel policy or not, it shouldn't be at the expense of creating jobs for the young people. And you see, I think the NDC should not be touting themselves, you know, to their, you know, intention of creating some 800,000 jobs. Because when you go into the budget, it is clearly stated that about 490,000 of these jobs are labor jobs. They are not office jobs or company jobs or industrial. They are just construction or labor jobs. About 250,000 of these jobs are oil palm plantation jobs. So we should be clear in our minds what kind of job. And these are not sustainable. That's my worry. They are not sustainable. So they should be apt with the Ghanaian people in explaining the kind of jobs they want to give out to the Ghanaian people. Back to the military stampede. First, my deepest condolences to the families who lost their children. I mean, 6 ladies, and it was so disheartening. I mean, I was just surprised that in our current time and age, we could clamp too many people, over 60,000 or so, at one place, you know, to occasion such stampede. I think it was not necessary. There were a lot of things that didn't go on well, crowd control, poor emergency response, a lot of things. But I mean, in order not to belabor the point, I think it is good that today, I mean, yesterday I saw images of those who had reported to Elwak and other places, and you could see that there was proper management of the situation. And I want to commend the Ghana Armed Forces for how they've taking a critical look at the situation and how they are managing, you know, the recruitment this time. I think we should, you know, memorialize the ladies, and we should take a very positive cue from this so that we don't record incidences like this again. And, you know, the military over the years has been one institution that is well noted for discipline. And so oftentimes when we hear incidences like this, it's something we struggle to even comment about. But I'm very happy that now things are being done in the best ways so that they are able to manage them. And I really appreciate what Honorable said, that when they are recruiting people, they are civilians, so the kind of treatment they give to them should be measured. However, when they are able to secure slots and they are undergoing military training and they become military officers, then they can go ahead with those harsh military, training processes amongst others. But I think we've learned our lessons as a nation, and my prayer is that we don't see things like this. I mean, it is so disheartening, you know, for young people to wake up in the morning at 2 a.m. on that fateful day, 2 a.m. Lots of people were gathered at Elwak. All they were looking for was a decent job, a military job, very decent, very honoring. And for them not to return back home is something that is so heartbreaking. And so I am glad that we are seeing some improvements, you know, in the numbers, and that the military, you know, has ensured that across the various stadia in the region, people are able to report for these processes to continue. We pray and hope that we don't record, you know, incidences like this again. And most importantly, the government needs to deliver on its promise of providing jobs. And that's what the young people are asking. Where are the jobs? You promised that there will be one job under 3 shifts for 3 people. Where are the jobs? That's a critical question we need the government to answer. And you see, it is very disheartening for a government, the NDC government, which campaigned on their flagship program, 24-hour economy. 2025, no allocation was made whatsoever. In 2026, the government, you know, through the 2026 budget, has allocated some just paltry 110 million Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, we are aware that this policy will take some $4 billion. So this brings us back to the issue of priority. The NDC government is only demonstrating that, as for them, buying jets are important to them than creating jobs for the Ghanaian people. Again, we have seen some 67% increase in the salary of presidential staffers. In 2020, yes, in 2025, when you read the budget, the salaries of presidential staff has amounted to some
still on this issue of
2026, we've seen
Ghana
some
and
jump
forces.
to
Let's say the cost.
Where are the priorities?
Let's say the cost.
Asking.
Let's say the cost of the Ghana Armed Forces issue.
Yes, I'm mentioning that what created these debts were the quest for the young people to secure jobs.
Okay,
so
we appreciate that. But there have been calls for heads to roll. At this point, we know that those who were in charge of this recruitment process have been asked to step aside. Until how long do we hear that they have been sanctioned for the Ghanaian to know who and who were responsible for what and what their sanctions are? Because people have died. Should it be that someone died, we write a letter of condolence, we say that we are really sad that this happened, and that is it? So the calls for heads to roll, are they coming from a good place? Should we be expecting to see that some people face very strict sanctions for the event that occurred, leading to the death of the 6 young ladies?
I see that the call for heads to roll should begin from the top. And you see, in an unfortunate incident, we lost a hardworking defense minister. It's been months, and we still don't have a defense minister. And you see, it's the minister responsible for finance who has been given an additional responsibility to take charge of our defense. And we all know the workload at the Ministry of Finance. He's too loaded, too busy. And so the issue begins. The president by now should have appointed someone to be a defense minister so that the person will be able to oversee all these things. But if it's our finance minister who is still overseeing happenings in our defense ministry, then of course we will be seeing some lapses like this. And so the call for heads to roll shouldn't just, be included on the military hierarchy, but the government, beginning from the president, I think he should, as a matter of urgency, appoint someone, to take full charge of our military so that our finance minister can rest. He has a lot on his head and on his table to take care of. So that's the first point of call. And I think we should be measured in the way we want to, be attacking our military. I think our military has been very disciplined. Of course, it's unfortunate that we had to go through this ordeal. And I am aware that some military officials have been asked to step aside for investigations, to be carried amongst others. But I am just making a strong argument that it's about time our president appoints someone to take full responsibility for the Ministry of Defense so that we will be able to curtail some of these incidences.
Well, Honorable Lanchin, let me come to you and take your final thoughts on this matter of the Ghana Armed Forces. As a committee, Defense and Interior, what are you doing to push for more accountability with regards to this matter? Because Ghanaians are still asking questions regarding what happened last week. We are still not too clear in the mind about the situation, and moving forward, Ghanaians will want to see better done by recruits, potential recruits in the future. And so as a committee, what are some of the steps you are putting together to ensure that there's accountability and transparency so that the average Ghanaian can be rest assured that we will see better moving forward with regards to our recruitments?
Thank you. Every Ghanaian knows that when we're talking about national integrity, one state institution that stands tall, and we all pray never to politicize that institution and keep that institution could continue to make us proud, both locally and internationally, is the Ghana Armed Forces. And for that matter, whatever it is that will happen to impair or affect negatively the image of the Ghana Armed Forces is always troubling. And the armed forces themselves are so worried about what happened because it's a dent on their own credibility. Because people will say, this is not the armed forces. How can the armed forces organize a program and something like this will happen? No. Something might have happened. Is it the fault of the armed forces? Is it some instigated instance within the crowd that created the stampede? These are million-dollar questions that nobody can answer, and that is why they established or instituted the Board of Inquiry to delve into the matter. Yesterday, when the Defense and Interior Committee met the Chief of Defense Staff and his military high command, I personally asked that question. What is going on? And the Chief of Defense Staff was very clear in his mind that he's doing everything possible. And the board is very serious on the matter. Those who were in charge at Elwak at the time that the incident happened have been made to step aside, and they are delving deep into the matter. And when the report comes, the report will go deeper in the area of recommendations for us to ensure that this will never repeat itself again. But that notwithstanding, if anybody is culpable on the matter, the person will definitely pay the price, because our image as a nation, our standard as a nation in the area of security is so high in the eye of people around the globe that this cannot be allowed to be swept under the carpet. And the Defense and Interior Committee are working together with the Ghana Armed Forces to ensure that the Ghanaian people will get a report that is befitting and action that is clear, that you can't do anything wrong in this country and go scot-free. No, no, no. Very particularly when lives are lost.
Honorable Anchin Tobu, we'll move away from the Ghana Armed Forces and finally look at the issue of illegal mining, galamsey, in this country. NIMOS, since it was instituted, is doing its work in ensuring that illegal mining is fought against in the country. NIMOS has encountered some resistance. The video that surfaced a few weeks ago showing community members advancing on task force members a few days ago, an unfortunate incident that involved some NIMOS officers and one soldier perished. Now we receive a report from the Ghana Institute of Foresters, who say that 5 of our forest reserves have been taken over by armed illegal miners. This is an issue that has been brewing over the years, and so many times civil society have said that government should fight this illegal mining menace decisively, otherwise we risk losing our forest reserves, our lands, to armed persons, very unscrupulous persons. Now that there is a report to back this claim, what do we do about it? Because not only is our land suffering, now we are faced with armed men who could end the lives of people who have been tasked to remove them.
Thank you very much. Galamsey is a hydra-headed problem, and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama understands its facets, all the faces involving Galamsey he understands, and we've designed a pragmatic program to deal with the issue of Galamsey once and for all. Let me make these 2 statements outstanding before I go to my point. There is a thin line between illegal mining and legal mining. If you take the preface of IL away from illegal, it becomes legal. That preface, there is a lot of work that must be done to take away the IL away from the word illegal and makes it legal. There is a thin line between galamseyers and terrorists. If galamseyers are advancing in their level of aggression to the point that they are armed and they can also attack state security machinery, it tells you that the level of impunity that is being brought up within the galamsey subsector is something that we need to up our game. The soldiers are not in there to shoot and kill. The soldiers are trained for war, and they can do the best that they can. If it comes that it is war and they are fighting, they are dealing with human beings. And there are a lot of challenges within galamsey that we understand and want to be very humane to ensure that we win the battle and still save lives. If we get to a point that the soldier's life can be threatened because somebody is holding a weapon and his life is in immediate danger, in the security setting, they will tell you, please do not use your weapon unless your life is in immediate danger and all other means to save yourself has proven futile, and there's no way you should stay and die. Please protect your own life first. And that is when they will begin to use weapons. But for me, where we have gotten to as a people, I have proposed and I'll continue to propose that the establishment of NIMOS to take care of the enforcement wing of our fight against Galamsey should be enhanced with a 1,000-man force, fully equipped with a 1-year mandate, clearly defined rules of engagement, and I'm sure that we'll begin to see the enforcement component working effectively. Apart from that, if we just do the enforcement and leave the other pillars, we are going nowhere. What are the other pillars? We are talking about responsible cooperative mining and skills development. That is a game changer. Let's push that angle, that as NIMO succeeds in clearing these galamseys off these areas that we can allow mining, let's ensure that it is cooperative mining, their skills are developed, and they are doing it decently, not affecting our environment negatively. The last one, we are talking about alternative livelihood. People are so frustrated to the point that they are thinking that Galamsey is the way to go. If they have alternative livelihood, they may not even get back to the forest. They may not even get back to all these river bodies that they are destroying. So let's ensure that we provide alternative livelihood in line with our plan, and that should move faster. I saw some 100 and something million Ghana cedis in the budget that is talking about. I can't remember the figure exactly, but it's talking about the National Apprenticeship Program.
150 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to NIMOS.
Yes, 150 million cedis allocated to NIMOS. But I can say as a fact, as I push for the increase in number or the force strength to 1,000, 150,000 million Ghana cedis probably is just for a period. And I pray that when the Minister of Finance comes back to the mid-year budget review, he will look at that figure again, because NIMOS is the way to go, anchored or supported by responsible cooperative mining and skill development and alternative livelihood. Let's put the three together and run with the three in parallel. And I'm quite convinced that by the end of December, by the end of the year 2026, people will begin to appreciate that we've gotten a handle on the issue of Galamsey, and mining is still going on. We're making more money from gold. Our environment is protected. Our food stuffs are not poisoned, and Ghana is a decent place called initially the Gold Coast. We are Ghana, but the gold is still there. Let's benefit from what God has given us in a very decent and professional manner.
Honorable
not endanger our lives.
I'd like to understand that the state of emergency, the declaration of the state of emergency that many Ghanaians, many well-meaning Ghanaians have been calling for, is one that we would not see implemented.
Thank you very much. His Excellency the President said he has so many tools available to him to use, and I think that a state of emergency, if not well controlled, and you declare that it's not well controlled, we can run into chaos. State of emergency, the President says he is not going to do it now, and he's being advised by the National Security Council. The National Security Council is made up of professionals who understand the state of the nation's security, and they understand the complications involved in declaring a state of emergency. They do understand that. So if the advice is Excellency the President, please use the other tools that you have, and to ensure that we win this battle, the President will listen to them. If they get to a point they think that, no, Mr. President, within 24 hours, we want you to declare a state of emergency, the President will actually do that. The President is the chairman of the National Security Council, but the President is not the council. The President is supported by very professional people who understand national security. And when it is time for them to advise him to do otherwise, he will. But for now, the plan is on course, very comprehensive, and we are pushing it through. But I'll continue to insist that let's increase the numbers. At least NIMOS should be a 1,000-man force, fully equipped with the clearly defined rules of engagement to be able to deliver.
All right, Honorable Anjintobu, just a moment, I'll be back and we will wrap up the conversation. Let me come to you, Manasseh, on this matter of Galamsey, our forest reserves taken over by some armed men. The work NIMOS is doing, 150 million Ghana cedis allocation to NIMOS. Are we really winning the fight against illegal mining?
Abena, you see, Galamsey is very endemic to our very lives. And when it comes to the issue of Galamsey, it affects the very fiber of our lives. And so we need to be circumspect in order not to do a lot of politics around it. But unfortunately, that has been the bane in the fight against this illegal mining. Now, it is very disheartening to know that we have armed men who have taken over some of our forest reserves. And this is very, very dangerous because they are endangering our forest, our water bodies, and our lives, even the lives of the NIMOS officials or the military officials who are tasked to deal with the fight against galamsey. But it comes down to the issue of the commitment of government. Is the NDC government really, really committed, to fighting against galamsey? How do we know this? We just go to their budget. So we go to their budget, we dive deep, we find out how much they have allocated to NIMOS. And it is so surprising. 150 million Ghana cedis to individuals who are risking their lives. And they are fighting armed people with guns. It brings to bear the inefficiencies in what government says and what it does. Clearly, because if government is allocating a little amount, as little as 150 million, to our brothers and our sisters, military officials, national security operatives, amongst others, who are under the NIMOS to fight against such life-threatening, menace, and we can give them this little amount. But when it comes to the salaries of presidential staffers, we can increase them from 362 million to 540 million. The difference alone is 178 million Ghana cedis, which is way bigger than the amount that has been given, that will be allocated to NIMOS. And so it brings to bear the commitment on government. We are pleading on the government to sit up. If the government is not willing to allocate a lot more resources to our NIMOS officials, we should let them know so that they will not risk their life. Just this week, one young soldier died at Obuasi, a NIMOS official. And these are the things we are talking about. The government must demonstrate high-level commitment in the fight against galamsey. You can't say one thing in opposition, come to power, and say another thing. When the NDC was in opposition, they were very vehement to the government to declare state of emergency. Our current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the respected Honorable Amakofibua, said it. And this is public knowledge. A lot of top officials in the NDC were clear that the government should declare state of emergency. And don't forget that when the NPP was in power for about 2 years, we declared our forest reserves, water. For about 2 years, there was no mining, small-scale mining, at least. And so these are the things we are talking about. We want to see a lot more commitment on the part of government, but not to say that, oh, we have our blue water guards, we have NIMOS, and so they are doing a very good job. And yet, when it comes to commitments, allocations to these individuals, Ghanaians who are risking their lives, then we just throw in some paltry amount to them. This tells you that government is not committed to the fight. None whatsoever. And so I am hoping and praying that in the mid-year budget review, there should be much more increase, exponential increase in the budgetary allocation to our NIMOS officials, so that they'll be able to, put up more efforts and they'll be able to secure themselves as they go into the forest reserves, our water bodies, to fight against these unscrupulous individuals who are armed and, they are just destroying our water bodies. And again, the government and the NDC, individuals should be very careful. Sometimes when I sit back and I hear, stories of people who are attacking NIMOS officials, amongst others, I am just amazed. And so beyond the budgetary allocation, all of us as Ghanaians should know that this galamsey is endemic to our life. It's a real canker we need to deal with. And so we need to accord these NIMOS officials that space to work so that they are able to, bring more respite in relating to ensuring that we have clean water bodies, our forest reserves are preserved, so that we'll be able to deal with this issue of galamsey, and not for us to be hearing incidents of individuals or even some people mobilizing people to go and attack these NIMOS officials because they are strong in ensuring that we are able to deal with this galamsey. I think there is a lot more to be done, on the part of government so that they are able to bring more credibility, to the fight against galamsey. Otherwise, it's going to be the usual stuff, and we will continue to experience worse forms of our water bodies, our river bodies, and even our forest reserves. And I don't think this is something that will inure to the benefit of Ghanaians.
All right, thank you, Manasseh. But Honorable Anchinto, with just a last submission from you, and then we will end the conversation. There have been calls that we adequately incentivize our NIMOS officials. This is the reason for these calls. They are entering into a very serious zone, a zone when their lives are at risk, and also they stand the risk of being influenced or induced with monies. When the issue about Blue Water Guards came up, one of the things that people said to as jest was that, oh, when they go and they see galamsey money, they won't be able to do the work. When it comes to NIMOS officials and the work they are doing, indeed, shouldn't we be looking at very good incentives for these officials or officers so that the work they do, they will understand that regardless of the inducements that come their way, when they are even stepping out as their families are scared for their lives, they know that when we return home, we return with something substantial from government.
Thank you very much. When we say something is an existential threat, that statement can never be understated. The truth is that His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama knows the negative impact of galamsey on the economy. All the things that we are doing, all the research things that we are doing, all the transformations in the various sectors that we are coming up with, if we don't win the war against galamsey, everything will come to naught. And that is why we say galamsey is an existential threat. And the President understands that. NIMOS is doing a good job. And I'm saying that if NIMOS is well equipped, well tooled, and maintained to do its work in line with its rules of engagement, and the other two components, alternative livelihood and responsible cooperative mining and skill development, run simultaneously with NIMOS, I can say, if the implementation is effective enough, within a 12-month calendar period, Ghana will begin to realize that gold should not be a curse. Gold should rather be a blessing. And we have won this match. And begin to do legal mining, make all the money, transform the economy. The structure of the economy will be transformed to the point that we will have enough forest in our system. The more you export and you get more dollars, your city will appreciate and there will be stability in the economy. This is Economics 101. We learn it in the university level 100. If your exports are less and your imports are more, and you are spending more outside and not getting more inside, you will never get a balance. So this is what we know from level 100, and this is what we want to do. Dr. Ato Forsen is trying to restructure the Ghanaian economy and make it more vibrant, such that we can export more, earn more for it, stabilize our economy, strengthen the city, and galamsey will be a thing of the past. Thank you so much.
So we thank you for your time this morning. Manasseh, thank you for your time. I really appreciate your comments and all that you have said today on the show. We are most grateful, and we look forward to speaking with you the more.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your insights. And Peter Lanchintobu is the Vice Chair of the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament. Manasseh Atabuahin, the Communications Team Member for the NPP. They share their insights on all of the conversations we've been having, and I believe you have also enjoyed it. We'll take a break. When we return, we bring you Ghana Speaks, where we want to hear your voice. These are many conversations we've had today. Share your thoughts with us. Let us know what you make of the conversation. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Right after this break.
Playing for your country. country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Aye easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come and see what. Wait, this guy. My friend, still before.
It's the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telestar Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telestar Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto etiaka. Inti ene, uno banu mumpe baby amubeda. Oh, na abeka. Ye did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my wedding jollof?
Oh, Kwame, you know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so good.
Jollof so cool. Tasty, yeah.
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hear your voice because it's your voice that matters, and your voice is what we want to hear. 053-916-1609 053-916-1609. Share your thoughts with us on all of the conversations that we have been having today. Conversations on Galamsey, on presidential jet, on the recruitment by the Ghana Armed Forces. Let's know what you think and what you would love us to know. 053-916-1609 053-916-1609. Would love to hear from you. Government is planning on acquiring 2 presidential jets. What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Has it been a long time coming? Share your thoughts with us. Share your thoughts with us, and let's appreciate what you two have to say. 053-916-1609. While we wait for you to call, let me take you back to Parliament, where the debate and the conversations about the presidential jet was up. Let's hear from you. 053-916-1609 053-916-1609. Let's hear what you make of government's plan to acquire a presidential jet. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
Please, my name is Ohineji.
Ohineji, calling from?
I'm calling from Eastern region, perhaps. All
right, Ohineji, thank you for calling. Please share your thoughts with us.
To cut long matter short, I've been watching your programs and, I don't have any problem with your programs. But, hello?
Hello, Ohineji, I'm listening to you, sir.
With all respect, I want to know, there's a company which built... Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you, Ohineji.
There's a company, AG Construction. May I know whether the advertising is really true or whatever, because I want to get in contact with them. That's why.
Okay. Well, yes, and we'll be showing all of our telesales very soon after the show, and so you get the numbers there when the telesales segment is up next. Ohineji.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you, and also have a nice day. Interesting. Well, 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. You can call and share your thoughts with us. Let's hear what you have to say. Government is planning on acquiring 2 private jets. What do you make of government's decision? Has it been a long time coming? Let's hear what you two have to say. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. I'd love to hear from you. 2 new private jets, so that the security and safety of our president is very much secured. Very, very important when it comes to security, an extremely important component when it comes to even our sovereignty as a country. What do you think? 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Share your thoughts with us. Let's hear what you have to say. But it was a heated debate in Parliament about this whole private jet matter, this whole private jet situation. Let's know what you think as a Ghanaian. Is it time for us to get a new private jet for our president? Let's hear what you have to say. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Let's hear your thoughts on the matter. But the former defense minister says that as for him, the jet is important. But let me take you back to Parliament, and so that you appreciate what's happened there, and then we'll be back.
By 2.5 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, if you multiply that by 4 years, which the finance minister has indicated in page 136, if you multiply that by 4 years, which the finance minister has multiplied in the page 184. Mr. Speaker, every year, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude that the statement I made in my contribution to the debate of the budget is on firm grounds, it's on terra firma. They are beginning this year and they are going to continue for 4 years, and this year 2.5 billion have been programmed. If you multiply by 4, it's $1.2 billion to buy 1 ship, to buy 4 helicopters, and to buy 2 presidential jets. Mr. Speaker, the facts and the data are unimpeachable and unequivocal. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I still stand my grounds that when he said that we are purchasing a presidential jet for $1.2 billion United States dollars, it is not in the records, and your decision that it should be struck off the records is right. If you go and tabulate all planned expenditure on retooling the Air Force, not buying a presidential jet, I will oppose. I will lead this house. I will lead this side. And if they don't support me, I will lead whoever is willing to be led to oppose using 1.2 billion of our money to buy a presidential jet. I will oppose it. But Mr. Speaker, I am happy, I am proud I support the finance minister in the next 4 years, to invest $1.2 billion in retooling our efforts. I support it. The budget statement. Mr. Speaker.
So this was 2 days ago on the floor of Parliament. Very, very interesting. We'll be looking forward to seeing what more happens, because as captured in 2026, government is looking at retooling the Ghana Armed Forces, and as part of the retooling, 2 presidential jets. We'll see how that goes. But that's all for Ghana Speaks this morning on ABC in the Morning. We'll take a break and return with the latest in the world of sports. Stay with us.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, let me see you. Hey, wait, Jessica. My friend, see before.
It's the Telesur Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telesur Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telesur Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telesur Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Time for the latest in the world of sports, and Eugene Ofori-Soti joins me here. How are you, Soti?
All good, blessed and highly favored.
All good, blessed and highly favored. All right, I think I'm going to also keep that and use it in the near future. What do you have for us in the world of sports? What's the latest that we should be appreciating?
Well, you know, international break is over, means that once the weekend beckons, then we are back to club football.
Do you know how I knew that the international break was over?
No.
Finger.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yesterday, when we were about starting the show, we were having a conversation. I was like, the weekend this year, international break is over. Now we can stay home and watch some matches.
Yeah.
He was very, very emotional about it.
Yeah. For people like us, the weekend, we look forward to just watching Premier League games and all the various leagues throughout our weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's how we spend our weekend.
All right.
People like Finger as well, they're also investors. They work through and they analyze the stock market, and then they place their bets in certain places. And then hopefully things will work out for them at the end of the weekend. Well, so a lot of games in the English Premier League, the La Liga, the Serie A, the Ghana Premier League as well. They'll also be speaking about an interview our sports minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, granted to a few media houses a few days ago, where he spoke about a potential World Cup bid
Okay.
West African World Cup bid. So these days, with the way the World Cup is structured, not a lot of countries, if you study now, the World Cup bids are not held by a single country. So from Qatar, we've seen now the next World Cup, it's not only the USA, but it's USA, Mexico, and Canada. The next World Cup, which is 2030, would see Spain, Portugal, and Morocco also try and co-host the World Cup. And so the sports minister also revealed that maybe in the future there will be plans for a West African bid, which will see Ghana, Nigeria, and the Ivory Coast co-host or present a bid to host the World Cup. Let's take a listen to sports minister.
We want to give our fans a joy to be in these 3 countries that host the competition. This is happening for the first time. The previous World Cups that we have participated in have been single nation hosting. This is the first time 3 nations are going to be hosting, and it looks like FIFA is adapting that rule now, because the 2030 and then 2034 is also adapting the same line. So you have Morocco, you have, I think, Portugal, and then Spain also going to host the 2032 already. So they are beginning to adapt a number of nations doing it. So maybe, who knows, the next one will be Ghana, Nigeria, and then Cote d'Ivoire coming together to also host the World Cup, and it will be good. With the level of infrastructure His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wants us to do, I believe that we together with Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, who have already invested quite a lot because they hosted AFCON not too long ago, we can also ask for that right. Higher levels to carry. We want to give our fans a joy to be in these 3 countries that host the competition. This is happening.
Sports and Recreation Minister.
But how possible is it? Let me ask the question, because if you are bringing us, if we want to bid for it, I mean, it will be great. I have my concerns. I have my concerns, especially because of the Cannes 2008 that we held. We had to build our stadium very beautifully. After that, everything is just gone like we never had any tournament here. Now we want to do World Cup bidding. I mean, it's in the near future, but how possible is it? What are our chances?
Well, so let's put what he said in the proper perspective. So usually the World Cup bids are done like for the next 2 World Cups. So when they opened the bid, there was the bid for the 2026 World Cup and the 2030 World Cup. So the next time the bid will be opened, it will be for the 2034 and the 2038 World Cup. Now, that means it's a long time. Between now, at least to me, the earliest possible time Ghana could even host the World Cup might be 2038, because already Saudi Arabia and other countries are putting in bids or have shown strong intentions to host the 2034 World Cup. Now, in terms of the infrastructure, a lot needs to be done. If Ghana, Nigeria, and the Ivory Coast wants to host the World Cup, meaning that we must have trains that move from Ghana through the Ivory Coast to Nigeria, because remember that a lot of this, it will be interconnected. So I'm sure there's a way you could move from USA to Mexico to Canada in that system. And for the next World Cup, the next 2 World Cups, which will be in the 2030, there will be a way to move from Spain to Portugal, and there's a way to move from Spain to Morocco, or from Morocco to Portugal. So there needs to be an expressway, a 6-lane expressway to connect these countries. There needs to be a train line directly connecting the 3 countries. There needs to be about 5-6 international stadia from each country with fully air conditioned, and then there needs to be a whole lot of other things. And then for all 3 countries, we need to have about close to 100 training facilities for the various teams to train on. And so, because the locations will be sparsely, densely populated, and sparsely, they will be scattered across. So there need to be training facilities. So in Ghana, there should be training facilities in Tamale, Kumasi, everywhere. And for the foreseeable future, that will take around $100 billions of dollars.
Let's see what happens to Ghana.
Well, it's possible. Well, we should start with an AFCON. Even the African games, things didn't go as planned. We had to postpone it by a year. That can take about 20 years to run. Remember, Qatar hosting the World Cup in 2022, it didn't start there. It started in the early 2000s before they finally got here. So anything is possible if we if we put our minds to it. I'm here, my producer telling me to take us to 40, 45. Well, anything is possible. It can even take us a 20, 30 year period for us to do that. But that's not only that's not the only thing the minister spoke about. He was also asked questions about the World Cup. You know, usually for the sector, if the president or the minister speaks, it's almost as if that's the policy direction of the country. So he was trapped with a question about taking local players to the World Cup. He shared his thoughts. He was of the view that, you know, for a player like Benjamin Asare, the clamor for him to be at the World Cup is because he's a local player. And we all know that once he goes to the World Cup and comes back, there will be a conversation about selling him. When he goes, it means he's no longer a local player. It means that there will be a clamor for another
local player.
Then what happens to Benjamin Asare? So that's the Honorable Kofi Adams. He shared his thoughts. So let's have a listen to him.
Well, my position is that good and great players should not be left out anywhere they find themselves, whether they are local or foreign. Indeed, we are not going for this World Cup just to participate and come on. That's why we must assemble our best. It should not be like we should pick people from local because they are local. If they are the best, let's pick them. We must be intentional about growing our local football and be intentional about retaining the local talents. But if all we do is that when somebody is good, the next moment is looking for a club that will buy the person, then we cannot have the local players. So we need to be very intentional about retaining good and skillful and talented players also here. Then you can pick them. But if the plan always is a club picks a player, the player is good, he is skillful, the next moment is that they are sharing his videos looking for any club to be interested in him, then how are we going to pick the local players? When everybody, every good one, we are shipping them and planing them away from our soils. So part of my strategy is to see whether it is the remuneration that is low or whatever is low, to begin to work at it. And that is why we have started with strong government intervention in support, whatever is low, to begin to work at it. And that is why we have started with strong government intervention in supporting the Premiership. Well, my position is that good and great players should not be.
So that was the Honorable Kofi Adams, Minister for Sports and Education, also the MP for the Boem constituency. So he's speaking about retention of players in the Ghana Premier League. It's a conversation we had for so long, and unless there's a policy direction from the government towards the club and financially helping them so that they are not swayed by the least appearance of dollars in their faces and they are selling their best players.
Last time, Makia was telling me how much some of our players take. I mean, I'm not surprised that our players are ready to go with what you say, the least appearance of dollars. If at the end of the week or a month you're taking 500 cedis for playing a very high contact game, high risk game as well, and you could get hurt, and that is it. Look at Francis Abu and his how hurt he is. He's gone back to his club, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Assuming it was a local player who went and he came back to his club, how much was he going to be helped?
Yeah.
And so we need to start looking at it and seeing how much of a disservice we are doing to our clubs, and think about how they would want to stay regardless of the monies that stare them in the face.
Well, the onus lies on the Professional Football Association of Ghana, PFA. They are the welfare body for the clubs, and they've spoken about measures trying to get a base or a minimum salary for this players so that things like this don't happen again. So let's hope and see that.
Let me find out. Is it that the clubs are not making any money from the league that they are in? That is why they are not paying their players well. There are no investors for the clubs, or
so basically for football, and the revenue streams are quite limited. So it's mostly match day proceeds, so the gate proceeds. So that it is largely dependent on how many supporters come to the stadium. So if the stadiums are full, then we know that you get a lot of money. Then there's sponsorships as well, and then TV rights money. So elsewhere in the big leagues, there's TV rights money the clubs are giving Then when they sell players, they earn a lot of money. Then they earn a lot of money from the gate proceeds as well. So these are large chunks of money. But here we don't earn a lot of money in terms of the TV rights. Also, the gate proceeds. It's almost like playing football in Ghana is almost like watching football in Ghana is it's supposed to be free. Fans don't like to pay money, so the streams of income are all down to sponsorships. And because of the various scandals that have rocked our football, brands don't want to see themselves in Ghana football. So it means that revenue streams are becoming very difficult. And when that happens, it means that also the clubs don't have a lot of money to also remunerate their players. So that's what is causing the problems. But away from the Ghana Premier League also, yesterday the European playoffs for the World Cup, the draw was held, and finally the countries now know who they are playing. The almighty Italy, 2006 World Cup winners, they are facing Northern Ireland. Now, whoever wins that match will face the winner of Wales versus Bosnia-Herzegovina, and then the winner of those two games will now make it into next year's World Cup in Pot 4 as the winner of the European Playoff 1. Now, the second slot will see Ukraine take on Sweden. The winner of that game will take on Poland versus Albania. And then from those 4 games, the winners from each will meet with the winner of the semi-final 3 will meet the winner of the semi-final 4. And then they'll play that final game. Whoever wins gets the slot to the 2026 World Cup as the winner for the European Playoff 2 slot. Then for the Playoff 3 slot, Ada Güler's Turkey also will take on Romania, and then Slovakia also take on Kosovo, and then they'll play and look for the slot for semi-final slot 4. Then for the last slot, Denmark take on North Macedonia. North Macedonia, the last World Cup playoffs, they surprised Italy, beating Italy at home. And so then Czech Republic also take on Ireland, who have very impressively performed massively. They beat Portugal and beat Hungary as well. So the winners will also be there. Then this is the African one, where DR Congo will take the winner of Jamaica versus New Caledonia. So whoever wins first of all, Jamaica and New Caledonia will play, and then the winner will now come and face DR Congo. DR Congo just needs one match. Once they beat the winner of that game, they qualify automatically to the World Cup. So that's because DR Congo is one of the highest ranked teams in this playoff session. Then the other one will see Bolivia take on Suriname. Bolivia have also done wonders in this World Cup qualifiers, and then the winner of that game will then take on Iraq. So the seeded teams for this slot are DR Congo on one side and Iraq on the other side. So DR Congo will take on either Jamaica or New Caledonia, and then Iraq will take on the winner of the Bolivia versus Suriname game. So all is set for the World Cup qualifiers, the World Cup playoffs, which will happen next year March. So by next year March, we would have seen the final teams that will join Ghana and the others in Pot 4 for the 2026 World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. So all is taking shape. And remember, the draw will be held on the 5th of December. And we'll try and do a show here, and we'll explain how the things are working.
On the 5th?
5th of December.
That's a holiday.
Oh, that's a holiday.
Yeah, but well, I would love to see.
No, we love our viewers, and so we'll try and give them content on that. We'll try and do a World Cup show. But that's it for the World Cup playoff qualifiers. Then let's head to the Ghana Premier League. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. So on Saturday, match week 11, Mediama take on Bechem United at the Takwa and Aboso Stadium, the TNA Stadium. Then also on Saturday as well, Kerala United, who seem to be struggling, take on fellow stragglers, Basaka Holy Stars.
Fellow what?
Fellow stragglers. Basaka Holy Stars at the Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium in Tamale. Then on Sunday, Dreams FC take on Sweden All Blacks, who are also struggling and they are battling relegation at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Then far away in Hawhwe United sit at home and face off with another struggling team, 11 Wonders. Then as well, Vision FC will battle at home at the Ni Ajay Kwaku Sports Stadium in Tema against Spando Heart of Lions. Adriana Stars, who are currently one of the teams competing highly for the Ghana Premier League, sit at the Nana Adjumambedu Park in Doma and face off with Brikum Chelsea Football Club. Nations FC, who nearly won the Ghana Premier League season, struggling this season, will be at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex and play against Gold Stars. And then Young Apostles, who lost away to Kumasi Santo Kotoko over the week, in midweek, would face another big team, Accra Hearts of Oak, at the Wenchi Sports Stadium. And then Kotoko, after beating Young Apostles in midweek, travel to face Samatex FC 1996 at the Incentre Sports Arena. So then also, let's move from the Ghana Premier League, but still on African football. The CAF Champions League takes place, it starts this week, so March the 1 commences today. Remember that in the CAF Awards, we knew that Pyramids FC won last season's CAF Champions League, and they ended up being the Interclub Club of the Year. This is, let's see who wins the trophy. Al Hilal SC take on MC Algiers today, Friday. That's the first game of the 2025-26 CAF Champions League. Then on Saturday, Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa take on FC San Eloi Lupopo. Then Young Africans of Tanzania take on Asfa. Al of Egypt take on JS Kabylie. And then Esperance de Tunis also take on Stade Malien of Mali. Pyramids FC, the current defending champions of Egypt, take on Rivers United of Nigeria. RS Berkane of Morocco take on Power Dynamos also. So these are the games for match day 1 of the CAF Champions League. Let's move to the English Premier League there, where Burnley, early kickoff tomorrow. Burnley take on Chelsea at 12:30. Bournemouth, where Antoine Semenyo plays, they take on West Ham. Brighton and Hove Albion take on Brentford. Fulham take on Sunderland. Liverpool take on Nottingham Forest. Wolverhampton Wanderers take on Crystal Palace. Newcastle United sit at home at the St. James's Park to take on Manchester City. Then on Sunday, Leeds United take on Aston Villa. And then the game of the week sees Arsenal sit at home against Tottenham Hotspur in the North London derby. And then on Monday, Manchester United sit at home at Old Trafford to face off with Everton in the English Premier League. Tasty fixtures for March the 12th of the English Premier League. So these are the fixtures for the weekend, and with these fixtures as well, we are introducing a new show. It's called The Build Up on TV in the evenings. I think 5:30 p.m. where we discuss all the various games. We preview the games, and retail fans, investors like Finger as well, and others. We tell them how the stock is looking like. We are the Wall Street brokers. We tell them how the market is looking like, where the risks are, and where they should put their money. And so it's a show for football lovers and aficionados should look forward to. The Build Up, which is at 5:30, which is a preview show of all the major leagues in the world.
Wow, that's nice. Thank you, Soti, for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. It shows that you guys have a lot to look up, to look forward to. I'm also going to look forward to one or two things, especially the Arsenal match, because of James Ohenba Makion, who is telling us that Arsenal is winning by 10 goals. We'll see how it goes for James, whether he's going to come on Monday and do this or not. Well, that's all for sports, and that's how we wrap up today's show. Thank you so much for joining us the whole of this week. We're most grateful to you. I can't say how grateful I am to you. Thank you for always tuning in to ABC in the morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Richmond Roxon, the spokesperson at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, for speaking with us, to Peter Lanchin Tobu, Vice Chair of the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, Manasseh Atabuahene, who is the Communications Team member of the NPP. Thank you to you for watching the show, and thank you to the production and technical team for putting together the show. We're most grateful to you. We'll come back same time Monday with a brand new show, a brand new week, after we have rested and relaxed for the week. Spend time with your friends and loved ones. Do not spend the weekend alone. Connect with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and come back refreshed. And like I keep telling you, do not say that November has just a few days to go and so that's all for the year. There's nothing you can achieve. Nothing. You can't achieve everything, and so continue to work hard and work towards your goals. I am praying for you. I am rooting for you. I know that you will achieve all of them. For more news, you should visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com. Also interact with us via our socials at abcnewsgh_, at abcnewsgh_. We'll be glad to hear from you. and you have any advertisements that you want to bring here on our channel, there are some numbers scrolling down your screens. Get in touch with us and we will give you some very good deals. Also, Community Watch comes into your community every day, and so you can call us on 053-916-1609 and tell us what is happening in your community, and you will see the ABC News GH team in there to assess your situation, and we will report it for the duty bearers to take it up. I am ABENA Mante. I'm closing the show with Eugene Oforisoti. They say you people in the sports fraternity, you like shaking each other, so thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Monday.